I just want to say early happy birthday to your baby girl.
Thank you.
I know you play some tough characters, but how are you dealing with the toddler phase?
I'm okay. I watch these children's shows, toddler shows, I guess, or even older. The Wiggles, Miss Rachel, Blippi, and there's others that people have been throwing at me, but those are the ones. Yeah. Especially the Wiggles at this point.
Yeah.
My son is turning 21 in a month, and he was obsessed with Wiggles when he was a little one.
They're a mainstay.
They are.
Yeah, you know.
They are legends.
I watched them this morning.
Right.
Yep. Fruit salad.
Yeah.
Yummy.
Yep.
Still know the songs.
Dead. They got to show up to the birthday party.
Yeah.
I really want to know what went through your mind, Mr. De Niro, when they said, we want you to play Frank and we want you to play Vito.
Well, they didn't, Irwin, we were having a meeting after I'd read the script, mm-hmm. and then we were talking about, they offered me Frank, so I, who'd play Vito, and then Irwin thought, well, what about you playing? And I said, let me think about that. And I thought about it a few days, spoke to Barry about it, and said, let me try it. It also would justify doing another gangster movie again, though everybody I wanted to work with, Irwin and mm-hmm. Nick Pileggi and Barry Levinson, so that was the good part. But this helped reinforce it even more for me to do it.
Were you on the fence about not going back to those roles?
Yeah, I mean, after The Irishman, I figured, if it's good, if it's really good, and this was a good, potentially good, but very, good material, I said, I thought of it carefully, but the idea of playing the two parts was even a more interesting idea.
Yeah. To my knowledge, Debra, this is kind of your first foray into this genre, but
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Bobbie's an amazing character to play. You did an amazing job as well. What was that like for you? She's an excellent partner.
Oh gosh, I fell in love with Bobbie. I mean, they were real people, and this was a real couple, and I was so intrigued that, first of all, at the turn of the century, she was Jewish, mm-hmm. and I think she was the only mob boss's wife that was Jewish. That was verboten back then, mm-hmm. and it just sort of told me how deep their love must have been for them to go against the tide like that, mm-hmm. and she wasn't able to have children, which was a very sad thing, and the mob wife usually stays at home and focuses on the kids and knows nothing about what's happening on the other side. Mm-hmm. And that was, was not the case with Bobbie. It was a very progressive marriage because they were true partners. Yeah. And that was thrilling for me to see.
Yeah, it was a very modern, as you put it, progressive relationship mm-hmm. as well. Let's talk about the transformation, both physically. I just want to know what that was like for you. Was there any CGI, for example, involved, or was it just prosthetics?
No, prosthetics, and we did a lot of tests mm-hmm. because to get it as good as we could, and so it was just a process, but it was a good one and a fun one in many ways, to figure what's wrong, what's right, do it again, mm-hmm. And so that was all, and then also how to differentiate the two characters. Barry once said to me, well, doing one of these makeup sessions, we've got to make sure his voice, this is different, we have some way of seeing that. I said, yeah, I know, I'm figuring that out now, I'm trying to, and so.
Catherine even pointed out the walk is even different, the way you were walking, yeah.
Yeah. So it was fun to do them.
Yeah. You're from New York.
I am.
Was the accent easier for you to pick up? Did you just play on yours and maybe change it a little bit?
No. I mean, I didn't grow up as a child here. I was born here. Mm. Then I went to graduate school where they stripped me of all accent. So I was starting from scratch, and I worked with a dialect coach. I didn't know that there was a Jewish Harlem back then, and it was one street away from Italian Harlem. Mm-hmm. We were one block away from each other. And so this dialogue coach, knew like the real specifics of that particular locale at that time. And it was just fascinating to dive into and to learn.
Yeah. And what was it like on set working together?
Good. We had a good time, and Barry is the kind of director who you don't have to stick to the script.
Yeah, I heard.
It's better you make your points, you ad lib, improvise, whatever. But we still get it gives you a lot of freedom to not worry about certain things. And I know you were saying that in one of our interviews. So it's good. So it makes it much more fun to unless the dialogue is so specific in a certain way, not these characters, but something could be this too. But yeah, then it's good to have that freedom, if you will. And Barry was very good with that stuff. He does that in his movies a lot.
Yeah. And Debra, you mentioned that Bonnie and Frank didn't have kids. But they had these cute little dogs, which I learned are your real life dogs.
Yeah.
How are they cast? And did they take to you? Were you nervous?
There was a national lookout for like, what are the best dogs? No.
Yeah, no, I had a long talk with them. And I said, if you get into this film, you gotta behave.
Yeah.
You gotta, the whole thing in movies is children and animals. So but I love to work with kids and animals too, the same thing. They were no different. But it was, my girlfriend had heard in the makeup sessions, Jason Sosnoff, one of the producers, talking about the casting of the dog or something. In fact, there was only one dog. So she said, well, she showed Jason the pictures of the two dogs. We talked, and how about these two, Lily and Nancy. So he showed to Barry. And I don't know whether I brought the dogs just for him to see. I might have. And I said, yeah, sure. So that was it.
Yeah. And they made their red carpet debut as well.
Oh, yes. And I fell in love with them immediately. And I had a scene where I was by myself and I thought I should have my children with me. Yeah. So I was like, Bob, can I have your dogs?
Oh my gosh. Thank you guys so much for your time. I appreciate it. You guys, outstanding job. And thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.